Let's start. We are supposed to start with a new module today. So let's start this particular new module. Now, the module that we'll be discussing today will be money and banking. Okay, money and banking. Now, from the context of UPSC exams, a very important module, especially in the prelims. In the last 5 years, right, annually around 2 to 3 questions in the prelims, right, compulsorily come from this particular module, that is money and banking. Some years it will be more than that, some years it will be just 1 or 2 questions. Don't worry about it. But in terms of importance, definitely yes, very important module. Now, under this particular concept of money and banking, what we'll be discussing, this is the list of the subtopics that we'll be discussing here. First, we'll start with the concept of money and the types of money. Then we look at the functions of a bank, the banking structure in India, and within the banking structure, the most important pillar of banking, that is Reserve Bank of India. Very important. Okay, Reserve Bank of India. Then the issue of bank mergers, the current affairs topic. Government of India has been proposing the bank mergers within the PSB sector. We'll discuss that. The lending rate regime, right? In the recent times, there is a lending rate regime which is referred as an external benchmarking, right? So we'll discuss that. Very important from the context of prelims. Then the Basel guidelines, some of the committees related to banking. Then the current affairs topic of non-performing asset, NPA, in the banking sector. Then we'll also have a look at differentiated banks. Okay, what are the differentiated banks? Payment banks and small finance bank. In addition to this, we will also discuss NBFCs, non-banking financial companies, and we'll also discuss cooperative banking structure in India and the issues and the recent reforms announced by the government to regulate or to increase the supervisory functions of RBI. Okay, so these are the subtopics. Again, don't need to mug up. Let's start. We'll start with the concept of money. Okay, we'll start with the concept of money. Now, in case of economics, generally we use 4 types of money, right? There are 4 types of money. Out of that, in the current affairs, or generally what type of money we use? We use a fiat money. We'll come to that, don't worry. What are these particular 4 types of money? One is called as a commodity money. Second one is called as a fiat money. Third one is referred to as a fiduciary money. And the fourth one is a commercial bank money. Now, what is the meaning of each of them? Let's try and understand. And from the context of UPSC exam, one question, if at all is asked in the prelims on this. Now, what do you mean by commodity money? Right? First and foremost, what do you mean by money? Let me start with that. What do you mean by money? Money is nothing but an asset which facilitates trade. Okay, money basically facilitates trade. Money is a mode of exchange. Means what? Let's imagine you will go to market, purchase a good, and when you purchase a good, you will pay money. That is rupees now. And when this particular seller, he wants to purchase something from anybody's supplier in the market, again what he'll do? He will pay money, that is rupees, and receive the goods. And this particular manufacturer, when he wants to manufacture, he needs raw materials. And to obtain raw materials, what he will do? Again, he'll pay money and receive the raw materials. So basically the idea is money facilitates a trade. It is a mode of exchange which facilitates a trade. But before arriving at a rupee as the concept of a money, earlier, right, generally, right, in around the world also, they used to follow a concept of a barter system, right? And the idea of a commodity money is closely related to barter system itself. Idea of a commodity money simply is a commodity such as, let's say, silver, commodities such as gold will be used for mode of exchange. I repeat, commodities such as gold or silver will be used as a mode of exchange. That is, the commodity itself will be used as money. For example, imagine a situation, we are following commodity money. In that particular situation, I will give you certain goods, and in return, you will have to pay me in terms of a gold or in terms of, let's say, silver. And whenever you're talking about the commodity money, the value of money, I can understand this. The value of money is dependent on the intrinsic value of the commodity itself. Means what? You are going to pay me in terms of gold, let's say 1 gram, 2 gram, whatever it is. But I will have to focus on what is the value of the gold here. What is the perceived value of the gold? how much value is there for the gold in the market. Based on that, I'm going to decide the value of the commodity itself. Is it okay? Because we are using the commodity, what is the intrinsic value of the commodity will determine what is the value of this particular commodity when we are going to use it as a money. The best example for this are the gold coins, the beads, shells, spices, etc., or silver coins for that matter. And earlier, when we used to follow concept of a barter system, we used to go for commodity money itself. And what is the idea of a barter system? Whenever you want to exchange something, whenever you want to buy or sell something in the market under barter system, we will be using certain commodities itself. For example, I'll be selling, let's say, 4 grams of gold or 4 units of a gold, and I'll be purchasing, let's say, 10 coconuts, or I'll be selling 2 sheep and purchasing 1 cow. So the commodity itself was used as a mode of exchange in the earlier time period, right? But now, over a time period, what has happened? We have discarded the concept of a commodity money and we have shifted to concept of a fiat money. Now, before I explain the concept of a fiat money, here the term fiat simply refers to order. Is it okay? It simply refers to an order. The idea of a fiat money is that this is the money, the value of which is decided with an order of the government. I'll repeat the statement here. Fiat money essentially is that kind of a money, the value of which is decided based on the order of the government. Means what? If you take out, let's say, a 50 rupees note or a 100 rupees note, and if you look at it, there is something called as a promise of RBI governor. Right in the middle of the note, there is a promise of RBI governor, which says that I will give the equivalent value to the holder of this particular currency note. And please understand, when this particular declaration is provided, when Government of India says this is a legal money, right, because of this particular order of the government, there is a value of this particular money. Imagine if government says this particular 50 rupees, right, from tomorrow it is not a valid note. Is it okay? Government of India today announces that from tomorrow, 50 rupees currency note that is there in the market, it is not a valid currency. So what has Government of India done? Earlier, the order which gave value to this currency has been withdrawn. And when you withdraw the order, when you basically take out the fiat from the market, then there is no value of the currency itself. That becomes simply a piece of paper. Have you understand this? This particular piece of paper, it has value because government has given the value through an order. If government withdraws that particular order, then there is no value for this particular piece of paper. So in case of the fiat money, there is no intrinsic value for the currency. Have you understand this? Right? That particular piece of paper, there is no value for it until and unless the government through an order gives the value for this particular currency. And please understand, around the world today, we are basically going with the concept of the fiat money itself. The governments through an order are giving the value to these particular currencies. And fiat money is generally declared as a legal tender for exchange. I repeat, fiat money is generally given the status of legal tender for exchange. Means what? Imagine I'm selling certain commodities. You will come to my shop. You will purchase certain, right, let's say goods, and you will pay money. You will pay currencies. Can I basically reject these particular notes? Absolutely no. I'm forced to accept these particular currency notes. Is it okay? I cannot declare them or I cannot simply reject them and I cannot say that I will not accept it. I cannot do that. Why? Government of India says this is the fiat money. This is the legal tender for exchange. Any type of a transaction, payment is done in the cash. You will have to accept it. Done? In addition to this, remember one more term here, has a very high liquidity. These particular fiat money or the notes as such or the coins for that matter, they have very high they have a very high liquidity. Now the term liquidity multiple times is used in the economy. Please do not get confused. From one context to another context, the term could be meaning something else. For example, if I'm talking about liquidity in the economy, is it okay? when I talk about RBI, the banking sector, etc., we'll talk about the term liquidity, and we'll use the statement like, with RBI using this tool, liquidity increases, liquidity decreases, etc. Now, in that particular context, understand this, in that particular context, liquidity means overall money supply in the market. Is it okay? It could mean overall money supply in the market. And in the present context, I'm talking about the term liquidity from an asset perspective. Is it okay? Currently, I'm discussing the concept of liquidity from the asset perspective. Money is an asset. So what is the idea for liquidity here? If I talk about liquidity feature for a fiat money, what is the meaning of it? Let's solve this. Liquidity in case of an asset, I repeat, liquidity in case of an asset generally means how quickly you can convert this asset into money. I will repeat the statement here. Liquidity means how quickly an asset can be converted into money. That is, how quickly can I sell it in the market or convert it in terms of rupees. Let me give a simple example so it is clear to you. Imagine you have 100 rupees under two bank accounts. Is it okay? You have 100 rupees each in one bank account, which is a savings bank account. SBA stands for savings bank account, and another 100 rupees in a fixed deposit. Is it okay? 100 rupees in savings bank account and 100 rupees in a fixed deposit. Now both are assets only. I can understand, for you both are assets. But how quickly can you convert these particular assets into money? How quickly can you convert these assets into money? That is a feature which is called as a liquidity. In case of a savings bank account, it is as good as having cash. Is it okay? It is not equal to cash, but it is as good as having cash in the hand. But on the other hand, having 100 rupees, which is also an asset, in a fixed deposit, do you think you can withdraw this particular 100 rupees quickly from the bank? Deposit, savings bank deposit, definitely yes. You can go to an ATM, withdraw the money. You can go to bank, withdraw the money. You can write a check to someone else and he will withdraw the money. So the liquidity in case of savings bank account is very, very high. Whereas in case of a fixed deposit, liquidity is very, very low. Is it okay? Right? And let me go further here. What about having 100 rupees in the savings bank account and having 100 rupees in the cash? Is it okay? Having 100 rupees in the form of cash itself, that is 100 rupee in one hand, having 100 rupee in the bank itself. Cash will have the highest liquidity. Is it okay? Cash always will have the highest liquidity. So understand this, fiat money is generally associated with very, very high amount of liquidity. Done? So examples for fiat money, take the example of India itself. We have currency coins and currency bills. Okay, bills or notes here. Do not get confused. So we have coins in circulation. We also have currency notes in circulation. And these are nothing but examples of fiat money itself. Now let me go to the third one. Fiduciary money or bank money. Right? What is the basic idea here? In case of a fiduciary money or a bank money, first, these are the monies which are issued by a particular authority. Is it okay? An institution or an authority. You can use it anything. So these are the money which are issued by a particular authority or by a particular institution. Now the value of this particular money,